All right. Last week, we did the first three characteristics of light that you have to think about whenever you're deciding on how to light something. The first was intensity, which is how bright the light is or how bright the light seems. One of the things that in one class I forgot to mention is, of course, the intensity of the light is also controlled by your exposure. Right? If I want to make the lights in this room less intense, I can simply close down the aperture. Don't have enough light to open it up right now. Can we put that on 1/60th of a second? And put it, just for now, put it on automatic color balance. We also talked about distance controls it. We can put in scrims. We can put on diffusion. We can control the amount of electricity, or in this case, the light comes with its own built-in dimmer. Right, so those are all ways to control intensity. We talked about quality. The softness or hardness of the edge of the lights. The larger you make the light source, put a little piece of paper on it, put a big flag in front of it, put something even bigger like a shower curtain lining in front of it, the softer the edges of those shadows will be. And we talked about all the different positions or stations, right, where we defined portrait lighting setups going around the circle. So our first thing today is going to be contrast. What I'd like to do is, first of all, do we have barn doors with a 300?
It said no barn doors.
All right, let's get barn doors out of the 120 kit. And by the way, guys, I don't want to see Luke doing everything. You guys need to get off your feet and do some stuff too. If you just sit there, you don't learn anything.
Josh,
All right? Okay. The barn doors for one of these apertures will fit the other apertures.
Now what? We need barn doors and things that go behind some of you.
Just need one.
Love that light.
Just need one.
Just need one. I know. This is for the. This one.
Okay.
We're setting up the 120, right?
We will eventually. Yeah, not yet.
Is this the same size?
It is. So yeah, there's a little kind of latch and a spring that you loosen. Take that off. You get all the 4 little connecting points around the lip of that bowl.
Probably do this while it's lower. Hey, Bowen.
Good. And now you clamp that in, and it should be pretty steady, pretty solid. Okay, good. Now, what I want to do, let's go ahead and strike this. Who wants to do that?
Me. This one dead.
Just push it and let go. Don't hold
Strike.
it.
Strike it.
There we go. Okay. Little late.
My finger hit on it.
All right. You're going to have a lot of light on you, Chris. I apologize.
It's okay.
All right. What I want you guys to do for me, and I mean guys non-gender, what I want you guys to do, I want somebody to go over here and figure out where to put this light to give me Rembrandt. Well, maybe we don't have to do that. Where to put this light to give me Rembrandt lighting. It just so happens we have Rembrandt lighting. Okay. So one step done. Do you know where the light meter ended up?
It was right there on that, the silver part here.
Thank you.
Yes, let's kill these oranges, please. All right. When we talk about contrast, we are talking about the relative intensity of one light to another light. We can also be talking about the relative intensity of a foreground to a background, of a middle ground to a background, of a middle ground to a foreground. We can even be talking about the contrast of one color against another, which we're not doing color yet, so we're not going to talk about that. You may recall from last time this little device. If I tell it what shutter speed I'm shooting at, which is 160, and what ISO I'm shooting at, which is 800, and then I cover the sensor with this little bulb and point it at the light, it's going to tell me we should be at 8.0. Can you put that on 8.0 for me, Kit? All right. So that is giving us now proper exposure from the key. One of our definitions really of a key is the light that you're going to base your exposure on. Okay? It's also just the primary light that you're making all of your other decisions based on. Now, right now, yeah.
Sorry, what is this thing called?
What, this?
Yeah.
Light meter.
Light.
So there are other ways to measure light. Right, we've got a waveform monitor in there. We'll look at that at some point. You've also got, I mean, this thing right here is measuring light, but this is measuring the light of the overall image. So this is our least useful thing, because right now it's telling us we're underexposed. This is where proper exposure would be. It's telling us we're underexposed because it's taking into consideration all of this other stuff. We only want to measure this. We only want to measure this one light, and one light at a time. The waveform monitor, which I wish I could put up on the screen, just somebody remind me, we'll put the waveform monitor up at the end of the class and you can all come by and look at it. We'll give you an indication of where different parts of the image are, but the most direct way of doing this is to use a light meter. All right? So right now, what we're looking at, are we in focus there? Good. Nothing
like
looks
it.
in focus to me anymore.
It looks
Okay, good. Wait a second, if I do this. Oh, now it looks in focus. Okay.
Oh.
Right now we have high contrast. High contrast means that the dark area in comparison to the light area is excessive, right? Dark is very dark compared to the light. Now, we tend to measure light in stops. That's one of the ways we measure light. And you may recall, and stops, of course, is how big the aperture is open. Let me get through this real quick and I'll come right back to you, okay? So we have some standard stops we talked about last time. We've got 1 and 1.4. If we can remember that, 2 times 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 that. This is a big opening of the aperture. This is a tiny opening of the aperture. As we go from one stop to another in this direction, we are making the light half as bright. As we go from in this direction from one stop to another, we're making the light 2 times as bright. Okay? We're going to be talking about stops a lot today, just in defining contrast as a ratio, right? A number to represent how dark the fill side is, a number to represent how bright the key side is. No, I'm sorry, yeah, go ahead.
I just had a question. For the light meter,
Uh-huh.
how it's called?
Yeah.
Right. So is there like I think you might have stated, but I missed it. Is there like a specific number we're looking for, or are we just going by the look?
We're going by the look. So now, I will say this. I've spent many days with cinematographers where at the beginning of the day we decide we want to shoot at f2.8 all day, because that's going to give us the look that we want in terms of shallow, and we adjust all the lights to get us to that f-stop, or sometimes even use ND filters to get to that f-stop.
Does it?
Yeah, go
Does that
back.
measure the temperature, or just like the?
No, there are meters that do read the color temperature, but this is not one of them.
Okay. And my other question was like, you say like you go measuring one light at a time.
Mhm.
Does that mean like if we had another light, we'll have to turn this one off and measure that one? Or,
No,
like,
because
both
I can,
together?
let me show you how you do that. So right now, we don't have a light over here, but there is some light on Chris's face, right? It's bouncing off the screen, it's coming off the ceiling, right? So we can still measure over here. So if I want to figure out what the ratio is, we know that we're at 8 from that light. I'll come over here and I will shade the light meter from the light I don't want it to read. Hit the button. And it's going to tell me it's 1.3. Don't change it. Now, we could actually. I'm going to put it on 1.3. You can put it back to 8 for me?
Okay.
This would be proper exposure for this side of Chris's face, or close to it. We can't quite open it up enough. But again, we're going to base our exposure, I'll let you finesse that. We're going to base our exposure on that. So from a contrast ratio standpoint, the fill side is about here, and the key side is here. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stops of difference, which is, I believe, a ratio of 1 to 10. If I remember correctly. Is that 1? No, that's not 1 to 10. It's, wait a second, it's 2, 4, 8. I think it's like 1 to 16. I'm not good at this math.
2, 4, 8, 16,
Okay.
32?
32? It might be 32. I think you're right. Thank you. So this is an enormous contrast ratio, right? The difference between 1 and 32 is a big difference. Now, you don't have to necessarily know how to do these numbers. This is all a matter of recognizing. If I want to control my contrast ratio, I do have to figure out how bright I want the other side. So what I'd like somebody to do now, let's get one of the light stands out of the 120D, and I want to set up one of the aperture Amarans light panels, hopefully with batteries, and we'll put it right over here. How did we get such perfect? The problem. This is the reason. Chris has a perfect face.
Okay, that's not.
You know, I'm gonna actually have Chris come and sit in on every one of my classes from now on because he's the easiest person to light I've ever seen.
This one's
So not the 120D, one of these aperture Amarans over here in that light gray case. Just use the light stand from that kit.
the one next to it.
Yeah, that one. It's a little complicated. And let me see, we're going to need some tape. Diffusion. Where's the diffusion kit?
This? Scram
No,
or?
like the
I
sheets.
see.
Yeah, like right there.
There it is. Yeah. Thank you.
Romand.
Roman.
Too late, Roman. Go home.
Let's get the You can be the TC guy now.
We had so much fun talking about you when you weren't here.
I enjoyed talking about it.
So Josie, turn around so people can see how weird and complicated this is. You guys may recall this, right? It takes both kind of a pin and then this weird adapter to put this on a light stand. Well, that's not good. Which, if there's a metal one, grab that one. Usually, some kids have a metal one they're much
I almost killed her a couple times.
Nope, okay, then use the one you got.
And this car.
So you have to attach this adapter. I'll just stop talking, nobody's listening. I'm listening. Thank you. You attach this adapter, and then you attach the adapter to the light stand, right? It's incredibly convoluted. Yeah. And you also want to put it in there in such a way that you'll be able to tilt it. So it's going to wobble anyway. That's as solid as that gets. I'll tell you that right now. So let's put that on the light stand, and let's see if the batteries will charge it. Sam, we'll take 2. Oh. Thank you. Good job. Always remember. I'm using the diffusion essentially just to dim it. So let's fire it up and see if it turns on. Striking. It does. Okay. So what I want to do now is show you the different contrast ratios. So we're going to try to go through every one of those stops from 1, 3 to 2 to 2, 8, and 4 to 5, 6 until we get to 8. In order to do that, what percentage are we on that light, Sam?
16%.
Okay. So I can see the f-stop here, and right now it is at Turn it up just a tiny bit, Sam. Right there. It is at 2. Now, if we look at what we've got on the screen, we can see we're seeing a little more detail here. One of the most important things about this, though, guys, is does it make us feel different? Right? Does it make the whole, does it make our subject appear more attractive, less attractive, more sympathetic, less sympathetic? Is it more dramatic? Is it less dramatic? Okay? So this would be, Josie, catch me up on this. This would be, since we're now here with our fill like, this would be 1 to 16.
Yeah.
Right. Okay? So take a look at that. I'll be giving you still photos of this in the digest as well. All right, let's start turning that light up, if you will, Sam. And I'm seeing it at 2.0, 2.2. Keep going. 2.5. 2.8. Now again, what we're doing is controlling this contrast. How bright the shadow side or the fill side is compared to the lit side. And since we're now at 2.8, we should be at a ratio of 1 to 8.
It's 2 factorial, right?
Huh?
It's 2 factorial.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so it doubles,
Yeah.
doubles, or halves. Yeah. Okay. So we look at that. Again, let's lock it. Think about what... Actually, let's see what we had before. Kill that light just for a minute. Right? We were there, and now we are here. Okay? Let's keep going. Let's get this up to F4. Okay? Sam? 3.2, 3.6, 4. Right there. We're now at a ratio of 1 to 4. Or 4 to 1, depending on how you want to look at it. Right? So it's different, right? Feels different, hopefully. Now we've got this whole dark background thing going on here that's not doing us any favors. Let's just do this for now because this is a black hole. This has some light on the background as well. We'll do that. Okay. All right, let's see if we can get it up to, where were we? We're at 4, right? We're here. Let's get it up to 5.6. So you see what I'm doing here, right? Just shading it. Okay, that's 4, 4.5.
We're at 100 now.
Okay, then let's take off the diffusion, and you'll probably have to go down. You just swing it over. What you're going to have to do now is go down. So you can go down substantially. We're at 9 right now. 7, where are we going? We're going to 5.6.
Cover the other side.
Oh, thank you. Oh, that's a 4.5, so go up a little bit. 5, 5.6, right there. Okay. So this is one stop difference, which means 1 to 2 or 2 to 1. Let's see this again. Can we kill the fill light?
Bless you.
That compared to that. We've still got definition. I can still see the shadow. I can still see the Rembrandt lighting. There's still a sense of depth to it. It's not flattened out, but it's very, very, the brightness levels on each side are very close. Yeah.
Can I see how it looks with color?
When we get to color. I want you focused on this first. I understand. I know. Color is coming up soon. Okay. All right. Now, let's get it up to 8. 5, 6, 6, 3, 7, 1, 8. Right there. Now, if the meter's working right, this is 1 to 1. Let me take a look at it here. Yeah, so look, we don't even see the Rembrandt lighting really anymore, except for Chris's incredibly sharp cheekbones. There would be. So this is very flat, right? There's nothing necessarily wrong with this. This may be the feeling you want to go for, right? But we have almost no shadows, no depth, no sense of definition. Some people look more attractive with no depth, and some people look more attractive with depth. We notice that with hard light, right, we get a lot of detail in the like, imperfections or pores or whatever. With softer light, we kind of blend those out. Let's not get any of these things confused, right? All we're talking about right now is the relationship between the key side to the fill side. Okay, now I'd like a 120D. It can be, and let's get somebody doing this that hasn't been doing anything. All right, I want a 120D. It can be on a light stand. That's particularly fine. The 120Ds are in there.
What's the
Air
150D?
That's it. That's it. Right there. The one without a cake cover on it. Keep it on a stand. It'll be a little easier to move around. We'll just put this over here for now.
No, you're good. I was just
These turtles are heavy. It's good. Stress. The way to rest is perfect. Lift it up. Top, yeah. Don't go too high yet because you want the light on you. It doesn't reach too high. Very nice. So now we'll have to get up the control box.
Bro, I was about to say, careful how we answer that.
So guys, I hope everybody could do what we're doing over here. I hope everybody could, in fact, get one of these lights up and running. So now we need...
Do you want like this or like?
Yeah, it's like stuck against the fender well.
It's
It's like the fender.
Oh,
going to go high, but not quite yet. So we'll listen to this. Now she drones down.
She hadn't seen it. She didn't pass by yet.
Yep. So now we need a cable that's going to go from here into the electrical outlet.
Yeah.
Here, and then play into the electrical outlet. See if you can find that. Plug into here, other end goes into the electrical outlet.
Classic Sawyer. He's always sounded like that.
Classic soy.
Yeah.
My goat.
That's it. Let's, hold on, let me, I don't think these work, but let's give it a try just to be safe. Yeah, it does, it goes in and yeah, we're gonna see, I don't think it works, we're gonna try it. Just look up on just a little bit till it goes in now.
Because he even said that I wanted to.
Alright,
A little bit of motion.
Now I'm doing it right.
let's see. Let's try striking it to see if we've got power here. Striking! Push it once. Yep, all right, we do have power there. Okay, we can kill this for a minute. So we need, we need the bowl, the reflector, and the barn doors on this as well. Reflector. There it is. Yep. Bowl. While we're doing that, let's go back to a 1-to-4 ratio, which means we need to get this down to 4. Yeah. Well, I would hang it on the light stand with that little strap. Yeah. All right, Sam, take her down. Oh, wait.
Yeah,
There.
just put the flat down, so.
Okay.
This is a little big.
No, I gotta put that on first.
670.
So be sure you get it in all 4.
That's what you were doing.
Twist it. There we go.
Yeah.
I'm gonna move this over here a bit because this is the side of number 1. And you wanna come see how to do this?
Dude, it's so funny. Random. Just, and I
This
don't know
one
what
works like that, so all 4 of these points. You go around and lift. And then once
Yeah, we stopped it. They stopped. Oops, McDonald's.
Okay, thank you.
I said, oh, McDonald's breakfast? And then they were like, yeah.
I was just originally. Oh, there you have.
Very good, very nice, very solid. Okay, you've all done three-point lighting. I know this, right? The three-point lighting is the key, which we base our exposure on, the fill, which allows us to control how bright the shadow is, and a backlight. The use of the backlight, the function of the backlight is usually to kind of cut our subject out from the background, to create kind of a halo of light that suggests a separation between our subject and whatever is behind them. Now, if I were to do a regular backlight in this setup, it would be directly behind Chris. Let's see, are we all the way up? It's in the frame. Somebody hold this for me. Either one. Just hold on to it until I get this.
Do it.
Now,
I can't do
can
it.
we strike it, please? Yep.
Striking.
Okay. Now, this is the point at which I go completely blind. Theoretically, we talked about this in relationship to somebody's. I think it was whoops.
Sam?
That's okay. You saved it.
Sam?
Sam's, yes, Sam, there you are, with the three, right? So, and a way to approach this, and remember, there's no right or wrong, is to go, okay, my fill light is 2 stops below my key, which is what we've got now, and, angle this a little more.
We have the light facing me so it doesn't fall on the tower.
My backlight would be then 2 stops higher. So we're at 8, we're looking for a 16. I gotta shade this from every other light, but not the one I'm trying to, hold on, move it over here.
Where's the sensor at? On this side or?
So right there, right there. So this goes over it. All right, let's turn it, what am I trying to do? 16. Let's turn that up, if you will.
Okay.
That's 11, I'm trying to get to 16, 13, 14.
You got 100.
You are at 100?
Yeah.
All right. Well, then guess what we can do?
Turn everything else down.
You know, it's a stop and a half. I think we can figure out what we're doing from that. Now, there are a couple of problems here. One is the light stands in the shot, which we normally wouldn't want to do. So if we wanted to do real backlight, we would have to have that light out on some kind of arm. Could be a C-stand. We've done it. It works. You got to be really careful about it. Or it could be an actual boom that's designed for lights, which I'm trying to get them to buy. So let's look at this for the time being, though. We have got, in terms of our contrast, we've got a key, we've got a fill that's 2 stops under, and we've got a back sort of top light, which again, notice how it's just kind of haloing him and cutting him out from the background, which is about almost 2 stops over, about a stop and a half over. So that distinction kind of ties everything together. That's a very common sort of look. Now, question in last lab was, what's the backlight for? Well, we talked about that, but the thing that we brought up was there are a lot of cinematographers now who don't like to use backlights because they feel they're artificial. Where is that light supposed to be coming from? Is there a skylight? What's the point here? Now, in interviews, we may not care about that. In a dramatic circumstance, we might. Right? Now, we could make it not so dramatic. Let's take it down until we're even with the key light. Okay. All right. How much? Up a little bit, actually. Down. Down.
68, 37, 66.
A little bit more. Right there. Okay. So now it's making less of a statement, right? It's still there. It's still kind of performing what we were doing, but it's not as maybe aggressive, right? But this is the decision, right? You're feeling out how bright the light's supposed to be, the quality of the light, the direction of the light. We've got Rembrandt lighting here. We've got hard light going on right now. And now you got to decide about contrast. How bright is the key to the fill? How bright is the key to the back? How bright is the foreground to the background? I brightened up the background by just panning the light over a little bit. So let's see what all of these are doing, okay? Would you please kill the fill light and kill the backlight? That's what the key light's doing. All right, let's turn on the fill light and turn off the key.
Striking.
Who's on the key? Who's writing the key? All right.
I can say they.
Backlight off. Backlight off. That's you. Backlight off. Okay. This is what the fill light is doing. Now, what you'll notice is any one of these lights by itself works, depending on the feeling you're trying to get. All right, let's kill the fill light and turn on the backlight.
Killing. Striking. Dun, 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 dun.
Chris looks like it does when you're really.
3 different lights. I would argue 3 different feelings.
Yes.
But let me also show you something else. Sometimes you're going to be in a situation, quite often sometimes, where you don't have lights at all. Maybe you only have one light. Maybe you're shooting outside and your only light source is the sun. You can change that. You can go to the dollar store. You can check stuff out of the equipment, but you can also just go to the dollar store and get 2 of these for $1. Look at what this will do.
Whoa.
I can see him.
I can see Chris's face.
I'm so sorry, guys.
Right? Now, let's turn on the key,
Okay. Sure.
kill the backlight.
Killing.
We can also fill in the shadow to a certain extent by bringing this board in.
Wow.
Still off frame, right? Look at how much we've changed the contrast ratio just with something, I'm sorry, did I hit you, Chris?
No, you hit the
Just with something that's bouncing a little bit of light back. Right? So now we do have 2 light sources. That's a light source and this is a light source. Right? Okay, that's contrast. Questions? Okay, let's talk about shape. Somebody tell me what they think shape is in light.
Cutting out part of it.
Okay, yes. Cutting is in fact a phrase that we use, right? It's a way of making sure the light is hitting the thing you want it to hit, and it's not hitting something you don't want it to hit. Your first line of defense in shaping light, what do you think it is?
Barn doors.
Barn doors. Let's say, for example, I don't want the background to be that bright. Don't look at the light.
I'm looking at the
I can take the light off the background, but leave it on Chris. Right? I can take the light, if I'm getting some kind of bounce, I can take a lot of the light off the ceiling. And I can also control this by tilting the light, which I'm not going to bother. I can take a lot of light off the floor. I can even kind of split the difference, let part of the background be bright and part of it go dark. I can let part of Chris be a little darker and part of Chris be a little lighter. Right? So I can vary the light. And the other thing, again, if I pan it to the left, I'm going to take more light off the background too as well. So even just the direction of the light is part and parcel of that as well. Now, kit. One of the things I'll bet we did not get is the Chimera or the softbox that goes with the 300D.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I told them we had to have that every time we check out the 300D. Do you know what that is?
Yes.
The big umbrella
Yeah.
thing? If you go into checkout, just in case they're not there, if you go into checkout, go all the way into the back room and that shelf on the left,
Mm-hmm.
they're in there, they're in bags.
Okay.
Make sure that there is a silk and a grid in
Okay.
the bag. Thank you.
Mhm.
We'll get to that in just a second. That's going to be another way of correcting. Okay, our next line of defense is going to be to use what we call flags. A flag can be anything. You can also go to the dollar store and buy some of this poster board and have it black, and it will work, right? But we have these flags. I'll get a middle-sized one here, right? So to do, now, we'll open this all the way up. We're not going to use the barn doors for this, right? Let's say I'm in the same situation. I want to take light off the background.
Yes.
Now notice this is way more distinct. The further away your modifier, these are called modifiers, is, the more distinct the shadow is going to be. So if I bring this out a little bit, you actually start to see the edge of the shadow, right? And if I get even closer to Chris, you will see the edge of the shadow even sharper, right? So same thing applies. I don't want the light on the ceiling, so we're not getting any top light. I can take it off the ceiling. I don't want it bouncing up off the floor. I can take it off the floor. I can even take it off part of Chris. And again, the closer I get, the more distinct that shadow is going to be. Okay? So flags, that's your next step. Now the thing about the flags, and we don't have to set this right now, but who wants to play with this C-stand? Why don't you both go? You use the C-stands to set these flags. So let's say what I want is the flag to be right here, completely blocking off the light. All right? How do you think you do that?
First we put it on the stand.
Okay.
It goes in this hole, I believe.
Yep.
Stick this.
Go to the middle, go to, yep, that's it. Now you tighten it down. Okay. Now you listen to this, you can bring the arm out.
Just a little tired, but that's it. Good job.
So this will work. So go forward, keep going forward. Do we have a sandbag on this? We do. Okay, keep going.
Like 3 biscuits.
Okay.
You got like two sausages, you get two sausages and one chicken.
Look.
No, I got one sausage.
Everything good?
Oh, sorry.
Now, we do have this on the, no, we have it on the correct side.
Oh,
Remember always, you put the weight on the side so that this bolt is being tightened by the weight, not being loosened by the weight, okay? Now, it's set. We're ready to go. I don't have any of that obnoxious background anymore, right? So you can put those flags anywhere. I can put up 2 flags, right? Hand me another flag over there. Hand me the little one. I don't want to. All right.
This is lit like a Dare commercial.
We can do.
Yeah.
We can do this. All right. We can do that. Right? I can do a little thin stream of light coming through here, like that. Right? So you use the flags again. This is called shaping. Okay? Now, beyond that, we can also use what's called cucurlorises. Do me a favor, can you get my Venetian blinds? They're leaning beside the edit bay. All right, so a cucurloris is a way of actually casting patterns of shadows, right? This is kind of a typical ridiculous cucurloris that no one would ever want to use. I'm not gonna mount it. We can swing that out of the way if you don't mind. So we get our background light again. All right. So I can cast any kind of pattern or shadow on the background that I want to in order to break that background up. And the closer I get to the wall, I'm having a lot of trouble seeing, sorry guys. It has nothing to do with you, kid. I'm casting my own shadow. Hold on. The closer I get to the wall, the more distinct that pattern is.
Look at that.
Now this is kind of ridiculous, right? I will try to remember to send you guys, there's a horror film from the 1960s where every single shot has one of these in the background. It's hysterically funny, right? I will say, you know, on lots of movies that I worked on, what the grips, who are the people who are in charge of modifying the light, would often do is just go cut a tree limb off a tree somewhere, which homeowners love that. Put it on a C-stand and put it in front of a light and it would just break up the pattern. But the pattern that you create can also suggest a location or a light source, on the agenda. You go this way.
I think
Right?
Yeah.
And again, the closer I am to the wall, the more distinct it is. The closer I am, the light, the less. But it can also be something on our subject, right? It can be falling on the subject as well. Right?
That's what the little things that came with the smaller light that you showed us are, right? The little
Yes.
handheld light.
Yeah.
It came with
Lots
the-
of patterns like that. There's a pattern of a window. Yeah, yeah. So anything, you can make these shapes out of anything. This was me in an X-Acto board in way more time than a normal adult should spend doing something like that. Right? Now, in addition, one of the things you'll notice is that we're modifying hard light. That's really easy to modify because the edges of the shadows are sharp. Right? Let's do this. Could I get the overheads on for a second? Let's turn this light off, if you will, please. Thank you.
I wasn't sure if the like egg carton thing was anywhere.
Okay, if it's not, we need to go back and get the one that's got the egg carton in it. But let's see if it's there. Nope, this is the one that doesn't have the egg carton. Was there another one?
She said that was it, but I
Go back there and look yourself. She doesn't know what she's talking about.
Okay.
Okay. I'm sorry. We were talking about this yesterday. I turned one in yesterday that had the egg crate, and I need it. You want me to go do it?
I can do
Okay.
it.
Go back there. Just walk back there.
Okay.
See if you find another one of these. And if you find another one, it's probably going to have them both. Yeah. Okay. Soft light is much harder to modify, and now I'm vamping until I get the soft light back in here so we can look at it. However, it is possible. We'll see that in a minute. Anybody got any questions? Yes, Josie. Thank you for saving me from.
Yeah, I saw a video a while ago with backlighting that created almost this like corona effect around the back of the head.
Mm-hmm.
How do you achieve that? Is it just like a really low backlight?
That's exactly what it is. So what we would do, if I can even get this low enough, is we would bring this all the way down.
You want me to kill the lights?
Let me get this, see if I can even get this set first. I can get this low enough.
Yeah.
I think we can. Okay, yeah, let's turn on the key light again. Let's turn off the overheads. I can't quite get this exactly where I would want it to be because I can still see it.
I'm about to get like since I'm not like
Is it striking? So you end up with something kind of like that. And what you'd hope is for a smaller light source of some kind, or I could get it closer, but I don't want to get it much closer to Chris. Is that the kind of look you were talking about?
Yeah.
And even more stronger if it was down. You know what?
Pull it off the stand.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, there we go.
Side am I not getting? There we go.
More evidence they can just stand out because that's how they have it in Sin City.
It's a little stronger if you're a little more up here. Yeah. So is that kind of the look? Yeah. Okay. So saving or killing, depending on how violent you want your terminology to be.
Conquering, decimating.
So nice to be able to touch it. No, these are LEDs.
Truly the final solution.
And we have stronger than this.
I'm glad you got it.
Ooh, so like, you kill one light, but if you're killing all of them, you're saying genocide the light.
Dude.
Slaughter them.
Yeah.
Genocide.
Yeah. You kill all.
Commit war crimes.
Yeah.
It's a war. It's a light.
Does genocide imply like a particular bias? People as It's just past.
I thought it was just mass murder.
Where the heck did my thing go?
I would know that genocide and pacifist were like actual words when I was in grade 2. And I like went up to my teacher and was like, pacifist or genocide? She's like, I'm not genocide. And I was like, okay.
No. They don't want me to. Since I'm not doing anything, let me go down and see if I can find this. I'll be right back now.
Yeah, they same sort of structure I do.
Up here and down here it goes. Oh yeah, I sit like this throughout the last 5 days.
You can't look at it. You're looking at it. You can't see it. I tried to get sorted so you wouldn't do it.
Let me look at it.
I want to interview Spider-Man.
Because it's like I like wet people up. It's a small little guy probably fingers like hot and
Is that I can soften a hard light. I cannot make that light any harder than it already is. So one of the ways, if you check out these 300s, you have to remind them to give you this because as you just noted, they don't give it to you.
They
Sorry.
don't want to give it to you.
Oh my God, please tell me it's in there. Okay, I feel it. All right, there it is. All right, so this is what's usually referred to as a chimera. It is a type of soft box, which is a way of softening light. You'll notice it works kind of like an umbrella. It's got a reflective side on the inside. The way this works is you push this down, over, and then you take the provided screw and you tighten it here so it can't close. Notice the absence of the provided screw because you guys lost them.
Oh.
You guys as in
I think I found
a
one
larger,
outside of
more
Bragg's
communal
in my
you.
room.
Luckily it stays in pretty good. So this is,
I have one that I found on the ground.
seriously, they've been missing for like 5 years.
I found like a big old screw outside of Bragg yesterday, and
I'll
I
take it.
collected-
I'll have something. I'll make it work for something.
Right
Okay. This is the same mount as the reflector bowl was. The same mount that we used to put on the barn doors. It's called a Bowen's mount. Yeah.
The Bowman's mount.
Goes in, and then you rotate it. You get it in on all sides. Somebody check the other side so make sure we're getting it in flat. We in, and it clips. Okay. Tighten us. Okay. Now. All right. So it doesn't go too far. That's fine. Okay. So the way you turn this, how do you turn a hard light into a soft light?
Make it bigger.
Make it bigger. So the way we make it bigger, and I'll take somebody to give me a hand with this, if you don't mind. We have this that Velcros on. So we want to keep it to the inside because I'm going to be using this outside Velcro here. Okay, doesn't have to be perfect. Now, when we get finished with this, we're going to take another light reading. Okay. Actually, let's turn. I got it right here. Let's take this up to 50 for now. So let's see what we're getting. Now, obviously, softening a light like this is also going to dim it. So we're now at a 3.5. Okay, now we see the softening of the shadows. Look at the edge of Chris's nose, look at the edges of the triangle. It's a much softer light. But this is what I want you to look at. Where's a flag? Who's got a flag? Where's their flag? Actually, let me have let me have that one.
Okay.
Need a little more. I want to take the light off the background.
You can't do it.
It's doing almost nothing, right? Because this light is spreading That's part of what makes it soft light. It's coming from all different kinds of directions, and I can block this light, but I'm not blocking that light. So it's very difficult to modify soft light. Now, what I would like you to look at is that this light, right now, is illuminating from about where Kit is standing all the way past where Luke is standing. I know more names this semester than I have ever known in any class. And I'm still not 100%, but I'm getting there. Now, let's say we don't want it to spread that much. This is called a grid. Sometimes it's referred to as an egg crate. You will notice it's a grid. It's about 1 inch deep. Here's the other thing too. If I'm standing right here at Kit, I can see the light. Luke looks at the light. Luke can see the light. Okay? You want to help me with this one too, Joshua? We're just going to go outside. And it doesn't have to be perfect.
How's that work?
Is it called an egg crate because these are originally made out of egg crates?
You know what? I don't know. That may be something we used to call this. It's not even true. Who knows?
That looks like the padding they put in egg crates to keep the eggs from cracking.
Now, Kit, are you seeing any actual light?
Yeah.
You're just seeing the grid. Luke, are you seeing any actual light?
I can't.
No. So the light's been directed this way. Okay? Now it's only going from about there to about there. So we've gone from this to this. So that's another way of directing or modifying this light. I think there's a good chance that we might have lost a little bit of light too. Yeah, 2.8. And then I have a little more control in terms of just being able to bring it around like this and take it off the background if I want to, or split it on the background, right? Okay, so that's another way to modify, but soft light is much harder to modify than hard light is. Okay, that's shape. Now any questions on that? So again, remember, you're layering all of these decisions on top of each other, right? They're all going to have impacts on each other. Now, we didn't even get to color on Tuesday. And I'm wondering if I want to get to it today or I want to wait until next week. I know your vote.
Rock, paper, scissors.
Let's go ahead and get to it, and I'll even these sections out. If your class next week is shorter, that would be a little bit easier. Okay, let's get the overhead lights on. Okay.
Okay.
And where is my marker? I've lost them both. I've
The
lost
eraser
everything.
was on the 120D, but I don't know.
Oh, it didn't. Okay. Anybody see my marker laying around anywhere? Anybody remember, quote unquote, the dress?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Some people look at the dress, a picture of the dress, and see it as blue and black, and some people look at the exact same picture and see it as gold and white.
I don't know.
What did I say? Oh, you're just saying. Well, it is, but a lot of people don't see it that way. Now, where did I put it? Yeah, I've already been using it, so.
Were you like,
It's floral. Wow.
yeah, Laurel?
Oh, it's floral.
All right. Although you may not notice it, we'll just see how far we can get. Color, depending on the light source, light, depending on the light source, are different colors. We measure this color in something called color temperature. This spectrum of color temperature goes from orange to blue. It's not purple, it's not red, it's not green, it's just orange fading into blue.
I'm scared now.
Are you?
Like, yeah, because like if you say like depending on like the source, every color will be different.
Yeah, we're getting
And,
ready to
like,
look at that.
How do I know this is actually this color?
Well,
Like,
there's even a worse part to this. Like, for those of you that have sat and done color correction.
what if the sun was a different color? Like everything would be
I love
different.
For those of you that have sat in an edit bay for several hours doing color correction, you may notice that eventually, even the stuff you haven't corrected yet looks right. Because your eyes and your brain adjust. That's one of the reasons why looking at a monitor for 2 or 3 hours may not get you the color correction results that you think you're getting.
That thing breaks.
Yes. So let's look at this spectrum. On this end, we have what we refer to as warm light, which is orange. And on this end, we have what we call cool light, which is blue.
In Premiere Pro is other.
Hmm?
In Premiere Pro, like, they have these glasses.
Yeah.
Well, do you want me to flip it? Will that be easier? Okay, all right. Over on this end are tungsten incandescent lights, like the Airy kits that we used last time. They get so hot you can't touch them.
So that's
Their temperature is around 3,200 degrees Kelvin. Might be 34 sometimes, might be 36 sometimes.
what would you say is the closest to the human?
There isn't one. Because your human eye adjusts.
Is then we'll see different.
I'm saying you see
I
differently
mean, there's no way
yourself.
to prove that the color I see as red is the same color that you see
That's
as
true
red.
too. Let's not go there. Let's not go there yet. Okay? Let's just look at this real quick. I understand. We're getting there. Okay? So this is what's referred to as tungsten. So this is kind of a lock-off point in a way, right? Over on this end, when we get to something around 5,600 degrees up to around 6,000 degrees, this is sunlight. Around here in the middle at around 4,000 degrees is fluorescent. Okay? Now, here's what happens inside your eyes and inside your brain. When you walk outside, it doesn't really look blue. That's because your eyes adjust. When you come inside, it doesn't really look orange because your eyes and your brain adjust. This is something that's referred to as color constancy, but the real point is there is no color constancy in the human eye and in the human brain. We make adjustments all the time based on our expectations. There's a very famous photo, I'll include this in the digest. There's a very famous photo of a plate of strawberries. And it's been color corrected so that all of the red, it's been color corrected in Photoshop, all of the red has been removed. Strawberries are still red because you know they're red, therefore you see them as red. Ouch. Right? So we adjust. Here's our problem. The camera doesn't do that. I mean, maybe it does if you set it on auto. It's going to try to do it itself. But basically, it's a brainless piece of metal and glass and plastic. It doesn't really know what color this is until I tell it that this is white. Right? Let me get the color on here real quick. Well, where are we? Up there. Up here. Is it up here? Is it here? Where is it? Oh, it's here. Hold on.
So you have red.
More red than
So how do you know that there is red?
If
You've never seen it. How do you know how it looks like?
I was born knowing what it looks like.
Like Okay, okay. Well, like the red.
Ah, those are red.
Car signals.
Now it's highly saturated.
I can see red. I see it as red still.
It just looks a little different.
Like pale.
That is so sad. Those are the best colors.
I know. I can't differentiate between the navy, dark purples, and blacks. They look the same.
I still see
All right.
it as red.
How old were you when you told them?
So, it helps for me to know what the color temperature of any light I'm using is, so that I can tell the camera what color it should be. Let's see, where is our camera that we have set up, the panel? Oh, golly. Any chance? No. So what we need to do is switch that out with. Actually, you know what, we don't. That'll work fine. All right. Okay. This light, for example, its native color temperature is daylight. But I got a switch here that lets me decide what the color of this light is. And I'm taking it to its native, which is around 5,600 degrees Kelvin. So let's take off. Which means this is now daylight. I'm going to take this whole thing off, and then we need to kill the overhead lights. Sorry about that. Right. Okay.
It's so hard not to look directly out the barn doors.
Let's get the barn doors on. We still have them set up? Yeah. Josh, you did. Okay, now we'll take it off of everything we don't need it on. Okay, now. Let me get here, kid, if you don't mind. All right, if you'll pay attention, right now we're on auto color temperature. And it's decided that we're at around 6,300 degrees Kelvin, which is very, very close, right? But it's trying to read a lot of stuff. It doesn't necessarily know skin tone. It doesn't necessarily know the color of a shirt. It doesn't necessarily know that all the background is dark. So we can go into here and we can take it, first of all, we can take it to the sunlight icon, which should then give us pretty accurate flesh tones and a pretty accurate white. But I can also go into here and select the K, which is for, right? And I can, which is for Kelvin, thank you. Had a little brain fart there. And I can take it up to 5,600. And we should be, now, we got problems with monitors and all sorts of other things in the middle of this, but that should be pretty close to being a proper color. If I tell the camera that it's the wrong color, that in fact the light is bluer than it really is, by taking this up to, how far does it go? Really far. 15,000 degrees Kelvin. I'm telling the camera that that's a really, really blue light. It's compensating by making the image look orange. Okay? This kind of thing happens when your camera thinks you're shooting inside and you take it outside and everything turns blue. Or you've got it thinks you're shooting outside and you bring it inside and everything turns orange. So if we go back and we take it back down to what should be the right temperature, tension's killing me. All right. Now, if we go the other way, we're going to be telling it that the light is more orange than it actually is. So we're going to go down here to 30, let's do 34. which would be tungsten. And you can see the camera is making the light bluer because it thinks that's a really orange light. And if I start to tell it that it's really orange, it will turn it really blue. Now, part of this whole issue with color is corrective, right? It's I want things to look the way they're supposed to look. I want white to look like white. Chris's shirt is white. It's not white up here. If I put this back to 5600, the shirt is then white. This can also be a creative decision, though, right? In production. You can decide you want everything to look a little bluish, a little warmer, or a little cooler, right? And you can use the color temperature to achieve that. When you do that, you're kind of doing it over the whole image to a certain extent, right? Now, let's take this back to 3400. This light, as we talked about earlier, will allow me to change its color temperature. So if I go over here and change it from 5600 down to 34, his shirt should look white again. And his skin tone should be correct. I'm matching the color temperature of the light to the color temperature of the camera. I'm telling the camera what the color temperature of the light is. Now, striking.
Fire and ice.
So let's see what we got here. Let's see if we can even this out a bit. That's 4.5. 5.6. So could somebody bring that light down in terms of brightness?
Which one?
This one over here. Okay, right there. Okay. Now those should be relatively equal, right? This is tungsten at 3400. This light, which I can't adjust. By the way, there's one of these lights in each of these kits that you can adjust. You can tell by this button on the side will push in, and that allows you to switch to changing color temperature. This one, however, is set to daylight. These things are 120 Ds because it's daylight. That is a 300X because I can adjust the color. We also have a 300D, which is daylight that I can't adjust. We're just lucky we happen to get the one that we can adjust. So what we've told the camera right now is that this is the light we're using. What we in fact have told it is that this is white. And by doing that, since this light is a different color temperature, we now see that this light is blue. Okay? Now, there are a couple things I can do here. Let's set the camera. I got another couple of minutes here before we have to. Let's set the camera to daylight, which means now it should be seeing that light as white and that light as orange. So again, we've told it that that's orange. We've told it that that is white. Okay. So it's a matter of matching them up. Now in this case, I've got two lights. What if I've got two lights that are different colors? What if I'm lighting from a window, and that's daylight, and I've also got a desk lamp, and it's tungsten, and it's orange? How do I match them up? Well, the way that you match them up, and we'll have to look at this next time, one of the ways, obviously, we can match them up is if we have lights that we can adjust the color temperature on. The other way we match them up is by using gels. Very, very quickly, this will be the last thing we do. Let's see if I can find the correct one. So there are two kinds of color gel kits one of these kits is like party gels. It's like reds and oranges and greens and all that stuff. The other is corrective. It means it's just phases of blue and phases of orange. So if I do this, and then I bring this up a little bit because we turned it down. Am I doing the right thing? Going the wrong way. Okay. All right, Chris, take a look at yourself real quick.
Sorry.
That should have evened them out a bit. We still need to get a little brighter here. There we go. Right? Had to brighten it up because this is cutting down some light, but now both sides look pretty much the same. It's the difference between that and that. So if I want my sources to match, I have to use gels. The other thing I could do is get a huge roll of gel, which is what a professional movie would do, and cover the window in orange. Turn that into tungsten light, leave my inside lights alone, right? The key to this is the camera doesn't know what color the light is that you're using. Now, this is kind of interesting, right? You can mix these temperatures up. That can be very interesting. When we start next week actually setting up, we're going to turn this into kind of a couple of lighting setups. We'll be using the color to sort of change things around. The other thing the cameras can do, and you guys know this because we've done it already, is you can literally put a piece of white up in front of that camera in the light and push a button on the camera, and by doing that you're saying to the camera, this is white, this thing right here is white, and it will adjust the color temperature appropriately. In a situation like this, what it's probably going to do is split the difference. One side's going to be a little blue, the other side's going to be a little orange. Right? Again, key here is you got to tell the camera what's going on. The camera doesn't know. Now, obviously, you guys know you can adjust a lot of this in post-production, so maybe it doesn't become that important, but you don't want to do anything any more in post-production than you have to, right?
Yeah.
Questions? You are now ahead of Tuesday.
Yay!
We got about 15 minutes. Let's turn everything off, get the house lights on, break everything down, get the equipment packed up, get the tables back in place.